You probably don't need a done-for-you digital advertising agency to grow your business on the internet. And I fucking own one, and I'm telling you that you don't need one. Now, I said probably at the start of this video, and I know the title to this video probably does not have the word probably in it. It's not as convincing or high a CTR title if I just say you probably don't need one. I'm going to talk about how many reasons do I have? 6 reasons why you probably don't need a full done-for-you digital advertising agency. Now, the first reason I give is the same one that's in the With You VSL, which is there's typically 2 scenarios that service-based business owners face when they are propositioned by an advertising agency. Either the first one is they go with a advertising agency that has an onshore team, and to be clear, like we have a done-for-you agency, all of our members are onshore. We don't outsource it to VAs in fucking Manila or something like that. But because of all the costs of labor and this office and subscription and just like training and just making sure we can pay good talents, it means you're probably paying anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month. There's probably like a $5,000 onboarding fee. There's probably like minimum $5,000 to $10,000 a month in ad spend. And if you're a relatively small service-based business, maybe for example, you're a local gym and you can only target that postcode and you're doing $20 a week memberships, or you're a small home service-based business and you've got other team members, but again, still you've got capacity. You probably just like the best case scenario is probably you hit capacity and just break even after the retainer fees, the ad spend, the onboarding fees, all of that stuff. The second scenario is you go, okay, well, I can't get a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 a month agency, but this guy is offering to do it for $400. Bro, you're a business owner. Do math. If they're charging you $400 a month, ask yourself these questions. How much time can they spend on my account to make this profitable? And what kind of talent can they afford to make this profitable? They're probably just a front that's like, yeah, like we're a digital advertising agency, and then they outsource it to VAs in third world fucking countries, and then they're just like doing an arbitrage. And I'm gonna talk more in detail about that in point number 4, so I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. The second reason I'm talking about is also kind of very closely linked to the first one, which is just simply capacity issues. Most businesses, especially service-based businesses where you need to respond to leads, they haven't worked out the operations yet of really growing. Like you've just been dealing with like word of mouth and referrals, and you get a lead every now and then, not every fucking 5 minutes, right? They don't have the people in place. They don't have like just administration staff to get back to people in time. They don't have the fucking capacity. Like all this, like if they just get flooded with leads, they just like break at the wheels. Like everything will just fall apart. They don't know how to get back to leads properly. They don't have a sales process. I actually talked about in the video that we just recorded. They probably only have a sales process for like word of mouth and referral leads. And so when they get like cold leads that just clicked a Google ad or an Instagram ad that morning, they're like, why can't I close these leads? It's because they're talking in the same way they do as referrals and word of mouth leads. Go watch the previous video that I talked about. So not only just like capacity issues, but just like the ability for the business to scale quickly. Like you just don't have that stuff in place yet. So if you do get flooded with leads, everything just falls apart. The third one is that advertising is all about tiny percentages, putting your CTR up 0.1%, putting your conversion rate up 2%. And all of these small percentage increases only really make sense at scale. Let's map this out on a financial model. Let's say, for example, you spend just $30 a day on ads because that's what your capacity to do. You're selling something worth $1,000. Let's say you got a $20 CPM because you're just targeting a local area, 1% CTR, 10% opt-in rate, 75% contact rate, and then let's do 20% close rate. Well, if you get an advertising agency, they're going to be influencing these 3 percentages here. How many people click the ad? How many people opt in, how many people you manage to get in contact with. To be fair, that's also mostly on you. And then the close rate is mostly on you, but then also making sure you have qualified leads. Let's just talk about CTR and opt-in rate. Let's say, for example, you're by yourself are getting a 1% CTR and you're spending $900 a month on ads. Well, in a month, that gets you, with everything else, $7,000. Let's say you go to 1.5% with your agency, and then let's say 12% of the conversion rate. Well, we've just added $5,000 a month. But if we're spending $300 a day, the margins are far more significant. So with an agency is $122,000, and without one is $68,000. So what was that difference? About $40,000 difference at scale, right? And so it's all just about percentages. Again, if we put this up to 1,000, by yourself it might be $225,000. But with an agency, what was it, 1.5? And then like 12, right? You can see it's very significant at the bottom line here. Number 4, this one's gonna piss some of you off. If you weren't already aware, agencies are for the last close to a decade have been the hot make money on the internet offer by online marketing gurus like Tai Lopez and Iman Gadzhi. They're the people that when there's like a gold rush, rather than trying to like find gold, you just sell shovels. It's the hot offer for that right now. And literally, I think the video has been deleted now, but they talk about like this arbitrage economy. And so what it is you find someone in a first world country that's willing to pay $3,000 a month, and to profit off of that, you just outsource it to VAs in the Philippines or on Upwork or on Fiverr or something like that for like $300 a month. And so you're talking to some dude that's in your country and they're saying you're doing your digital advertising ads, but really they're just outsourcing it to a fucking VA somewhere because that's what their margins are, right? It's the hot make money online offer. That's why you're getting flooded by so many like agencies promising this and promising this and promising this, but they all go out and they just do this constant churn and burn of clients. So that's another fucking reason. It's just this, again, I talked about, a normally distributed bell curve. This is more and more agencies. And then this fucking portion of them, as the sample size increases, just gets larger and larger. So there's just more and more and more shit digital advertising agencies or freelancers or whatever, the growth partners or what's the, like what they'll do is they'll rebrand what they call themselves so they don't get associated with digital advertising agencies. They'll call them like growth operators, some shit like that. Number 5, I love this one too, and you probably will as well. No one moves faster than the business owner, because it's your money in the bank account, it's your money leaving the bank account, it's your money coming into the bank account. No one's going to move faster than you. So for example, the With You funnel, which is actually like linked below because you can go apply to it. I built that whole thing, all the landing pages, all of the nurture sequences, all the ad campaigns in 2 hours. And actually on my personal YouTube channel, there's a video where I just in silence, you can watch me build the entire thing from scratch, clicking create funnel and building the entire funnel and the ads and the nurture sequences in like 2 hours. The video you see on that page, that 19-minute video, Aiden just brought the cameras, I sat down, banged that whole thing out, and then just whacked that up. And now that is what's getting us all of our With You enrollments. And that was done in like combined time for everything with the video and everything, 3 hours. And that's a huge arm of our revenue. So if you want to check that out, click below. And you can also apply if you want to move fucking quickly as well. Like for example, like the With You workshop, we did it in 2 days because I was sick of these fucking online courses where they do, it's like learn internet marketing in 16 weeks. It's like, motherfucker, you're a business owner. You don't have 16 weeks. We need to get this done in 2 days. And so what we do is we like sit down next to you, we point at your screen, we tell you what to click and type so that from the start of day 1 to the end of day 2, you can build out your ad, the right person's going to click. You can build out your landing pages, it's going to generate leads. You can build out a sales process, it's actually conversational, non-pushy, and actually gets a, like I was saying before, like a cold lead that just saw an Instagram ad today into a transaction that afternoon. And the last one, very closely linked in nature to the last one, is you speak to your customers fucking all day long. So there's very few people, if not none, no one else knows your customer better than you do because you speak to them all day long. So for example, in that video I mentioned before, the 2-hour one where I build out all the landing pages, there's a section, I think, you had to find it. It's a very long video. Obviously it's 2 hours of me in silence building landing pages. I'm building the FAQ section of the landing page, and you can see me get up and leave the room a couple of times because I'm going and talking to my sales rep, Tim, and saying, hey, what are all the objections or questions that you just get on sales calls? And then he tells me, I go, cool, how do you overcome that objection? And I just put his answer into there, right? Because I still from time to time do the traffic discovery sessions and the With You application calls, but it's mostly Tim and now also Melville that do those calls. At the start of the agency, I was doing all the sales calls for the first 2 or 3 years of the company. So now I'm a little bit detached, but especially when you're starting the business now, you're responsible for all the money coming in. You hear all the objections, you get all the questions, you know what gets people over the line in the end, and putting that stuff into your marketing helps the sales process significantly. So if you want to be able to grow your business on the internet, not had to get a full done for you agency that's either going to be too expensive, it is not economical, or they're fucking like, he's like, oh, this is cheap, no wonder why, and you want to be able to just speed run building out your entire online lead generation system 2 days flat and then get our entire team support. And also mostly mine, like Tim's pitch for With You was like, bro, like you get a response from the managing director of the company in like a couple of minutes and he sends like a detailed loom, then scroll below, start your application for With You, and hopefully we'll see you in a workshop soon.